Hello everyone, welcome again to YourPedia Education. Today I'm going to discuss a very important topic with you. So I recently observed like some of the students who are getting fully funded PhD without any of the exam in USA. So I just interacted with one of the students recently. So I'm going to upload that video soon, but I want to discuss this topic with you, like how actually students get fully funded PhD without TOEFL, IELTS, and GRE exam. So before I start this one, if you think like this content is helpful for you, I would say like if you want any interaction with me or any of the mentor in YourPedia Education, just go in the description. There is a link for Google Form. Just fill that. In 2 to 3 days, we are going to interact with you. We will have a Zoom session with you. Okay, so now let's I start this topic. So first of all, I want to discuss what are these exams, TOEFL, IELTS, and GRE. Why actually university need that? So you have to understand one thing. TOEFL, IELTS, basically this is English proficiency exam, and GRE, basically this is aptitude exam. So what is English proficiency? So university actually want to check your English speaking skill, listening skill, writing skills, because when you are actually coming to US or any English speaking country, then you have to interact with people, you have to interact with students, interact with professors. So they just really want to check if you're sitting in a class, you're able to understand the content. Are you able to understand what professor is saying? Are you able to communicate with professor and other students? So they want to check your English proficiency. So how you're speaking, how you're listening. So you need a minimum score in this exams. Okay. On the other hand, GRE, basically this is not English proficiency exam. In GRE, they will not going to check your speaking skill or any other English skills, but this is aptitude exam. So that's why in GRE exam you have mathematics as well as you have English section. But in English also they are going to check your English aptitude, not your English proficiency skills. Okay, so proficiency is basically speaking, listening, and how you're understanding that language. So this is that skills. So let's first come to TOEFL IELTS. Okay, so TOEFL IELTS, basically this is university's criteria, as I already explained you. The university want to check whether you are going to interact with professor and students efficiently or not. So that's why they put this TOEFL and IELTS some criteria. So generally you have 80 marks for TOEFL. In most of the universities in US, there is minimum 80 marks and you have to clear some sectional cutoff. Similarly for IELTS, like you have to basically clear, you have to get that 6.5 bands minimum. This is the criteria for most of the university. Okay, so yeah, as I already speak, university need to check your English proficiency. This is not a check for your aptitude, and there is always a minimum cutoff. So how you can omit this exam? Basically, you can submit one certificate if your previous education is in English language. Let us say you did your undergrad and master is in English language. So you can provide university with one certificate, like my previous education is in English language. So they are going to waive off this TOEFL IELTS criteria sometimes, not always, but sometimes they are going to waive off this thing. And recently what happened, like I was interacting one student who is applying for PhD. Okay, so what he did, like he has very good credentials. He sent email to one of the professor, and when he sent, as soon as he sent email to a professor, professor basically likes his profile, and immediately he asked him to apply to the university. But at that time, he doesn't have this TOEFL and GRE score. Okay, so he, what I suggested him, I suggested like send an email to the professor like you don't have this score TOEFL and IELTS and as well as GRE. So what will happen, like professor basically he set up a Zoom meeting with him. Okay, and in this Zoom meeting, professor is going to check your English proficiency skills, like how you're speaking, whether you're able to understand English. So they also just want to check your proficiency skills. So generally, if professor is basically having a personal interview with you in US, most of the time they want to check your English speaking skills. So if professor thinks it is good, then he can always tell university, I personally interact with the student and he can speak English fluently, so you can hire him without TOEFL. So this is the way you can basically omit this TOEFL IELTS score. Okay. And another way is obviously, as I explained you, some universities have criteria. If you have previous previous study medium as English for your undergrad and for your masters, then also sometimes they will waive off this TOEFL as. Now, how to omit GRE exam? So first of all, GRE is aptitude exam, as I already explained you. So professor is going to check your aptitude. If you doesn't have anything in your resume, for example, you don't have research experience, then you always need this GRE exam. So if you are directly applying for PhD after BTech, you need this GRE exam. You need a good score in GRE. By good score, I mean minimum 320. So this is what happened in master's case. Like if you're applying for masters, you need a GR exam in US. But when you are applying for PhD, then what will happen? This GR exam basically it is professor's criteria. Most of the time, professor check this score. If you have good GRE score, then professor will think, okay, this guy has good aptitude. So that is what they judge from your GRE score. Okay. Then other thing is like this is not your English proficiency. So if you have good score in verbal, it doesn't mean like you speak well in English. Okay, so that they will judge from TOEFL and IELTS score. And how you can replace this GRE exam if you don't have this GRE exam, I would say send email to professor and tell him like you don't have this GRE exam. So if professor is really interested in your CV, for example, you have good research experience and he wants to hire you, then basically he will talk to graduate committee and tell like this student doesn't have GRE score and I already checked his aptitude through his CV, through his CGPA, through his research experience, and I think this student has good aptitude. Then in that case, university is going to waive off this exam for you. So GRE also doesn't have any minimum cutoff for PhD. So I know some students who are going into Stanford with 305 GRE score, that is on your side. Sometimes you have 320 GRE score and you will not get PhD. So recently I interacted with one of the students. I'm soon going to upload his video. He got fully funded PhD offer without TOEFL, IELTS, and GRE. And how it happened? He has good research experience and he talked to professor. He told professor like he doesn't have any TOEFL, IELTS, and GRE. Professor had one interview with him and professor checked his English proficiency skills, and GRE he waived off because his CV is really good. He has good research experience. So this is the way you can omit all the exam and get a fully funded PhD in United States. So that's all for today's video. If you have any question, want to interact with me more, then go in the description, fill the Google Forms. Thank you.